As if 2025 wasn't already packed with fantastic video games, the developers at Embark just had to come along with Ark Raiders, an utterly gorgeous, engrossing and spectacular third-person multiplayer extraction shooter. I was already hooked after spending plenty of hours in the beta earlier this year and several hours in the server slam earlier this month. Ahead of launch, Embark invited myself and my squad along to a 4-hour event to get hands-on with what you'll all be playing soon enough. Some outlets may choose to label this as a sort of final preview, but I think I've spent enough time with Ark Raiders to bring you some sort of verdict, though due to the live nature of the game, the final score will be subject to change as we test the game further in a live environment. So buckle up, charge those shields and ready your weapons. We're heading topside in the Xbox era Ark Raiders review in progress. Ark Raiders is a multiplayer PvPvE third-person extraction shooter set in a dystopian post-apocalyptic future where machines rule the surface of the Earth and humanity, what's left of it, is living in settlements deep underground. The game itself has been in development for longer than the already released PvP game from Embark, The Finals, so for that team this has been a long time coming. In terms of themes, the team wanted to explore the potential of space travel, the imminent rise of AI and machines, and the impending ecological collapse of our planet. That's quite the combination. Ark Raiders is set in a world where those things converged. Huge technological advancements, massive floods, wildfires and earthquakes, and of course the rise of the machines themselves. We're now a few generations beyond those events, and the origin of the Ark machines that rule the surface and prevent humanity from settling is mostly unknown. And this itself is just one of the mysteries that I look forward to uncovering in detail as the community starts to play. The game itself is set in the south of Italy in a region known as the Rust Belt. At launch, there are 4 topside locations where we can head up to scavenge for supplies, take on various Ark machines, and potentially encounter other raiders, whose motives are not always clear. There are the forests, swamps, and abandoned buildings of damn battlegrounds, which can be considered a safer place to learn the ropes. The Buried City is an entire city engulfed in dunes filled with apartment buildings and other complexes. The Spaceport, a derelict industrial launch facility filled with old technology to potentially scavenge. And we also have the until now unseen Blue Gate, a location that's a little higher up in the mountains with towns and underground complexes to explore. The world of Ark Raiders is assuredly beautiful to exist in, even if threats are potentially lurking around every corner as you explore. Each location has a map that details to players where more high-value loot and supplies can be scavenged, and each area has rotating conditions that vary things like weather, be it rain or terrifying electromagnetic storms, or the types of Ark enemies that may be present. The team confirms that there'll even be night raids which offer even greater challenge and better rewards, though they advise that alongside battling reduced visibility, the presence of Ark machines will be greatly increased. If you're feeling brave enough, you can choose to go out there solo, or in teams of 3 if you've got some buddies to raid with. If you do go out there alone, the game will try to prioritise you being matched with other solo players, though for me this is a team game through and through. Despite the variety of mechanical beasties that roam the surface and are an ever-present threat, the world itself is full of colour and life. There are some wonderful touches, from flocks of birds that will startle should you get too close and give away your position, to world-building environmental storytelling that certainly piques the imagination. Despite the dystopian backdrop, there's a surprising amount of colour and vividness to the world Embark has created, and it has a thrilling soundscape to match. The bloop and shrill sirens of arc machines that have detected you, to the crack and whistle of bullets striking nearby, or the echo of explosions and gunfire from afar. They've also done a really great job with the audio created by other players. Keep an ear out for footsteps. This is a game where you'll never know quite what to expect, and you should probably wear some headphones.
Waiter, over there.
It is, however, a game of two halves. Whilst combat, scavenging, exploration and tension are the order of the day on the surface, there's a whole heap of busy work to be getting on with when you're underground. You're set forth from Speranza, a bustling neighbourhood of the sprawling underground city of Toledo. It's here where we'll manage our home and workshop, trade with various vendors, take on quests and prepare our gear for the many excursions we'll take topside. If I have one large criticism or pain point for Arc Raiders, it's with inventory management and the sheer number of different items one can scavenge and use. Even after many hours in, understanding what breaks down into what and choosing what items need to be prioritised is still fairly confusing, and something that only large amounts of time with the game will ever truly resolve. On a controller, navigating these menus filled to the brim with different parts and supplies, or finding and accepting quests, just doesn't feel intuitive. The team has done their best to make it detailed and useful, but I found the pop-ups to occasionally get in the way of what I was trying to do, and I spent far more time wrangling around tons of boxes of stuff like pipes or plastics or metal parts. The list is endless and a bit daunting. You do have a chicken named Scrappy to help you out, which is weird but amusing. Scrappy will routinely gather parts, basic ones, in reasonable quantities, and they can be upgraded and customised to help you sort things out a bit. Eventually you'll be able to build different benches in your workshop to craft your own gear from your stash, and longer term progression will tie into your ability to craft better items and augments to mix up your playstyle. You'll also be able to customise your character from a selection of predefined faces and hairstyles. I will take this opportunity to complain loudly about the lack of a mohawk and any sort of facial hair, which feels pretty jarring in any sort of dystopian future. Customisation also extends to the outfits and equipment you can carry, with a heap of colour options, backpack types, charms and so on. Expect there to be plenty of monetised customisation options for players to indulge in and strut their fancy stuff on the surface. Thankfully, some cosmetics can be unlocked by completing different quests via vendors and just generally levelling up. The meat of the game, of course, is going out on missions to the surface. You can prepare for these beforehand and equip your character accordingly for what may lie ahead. Do you risk taking your best guns and gear with the threat that you could lose them all should you be killed? Perhaps you take the basic free loadout and hope that you can survive long enough to loot the surface and make it back unscathed. These sorts of decisions are demanded of you every match, and the choice you make will likely depend on what you have to spare and what you're willing to risk. Augments can be equipped to set the tone for the type of player you're going to be. You might take a combat augment which allows you to equip a heavier shield at the cost of moving more slowly and being able to carry far less loot. Perhaps supplies and scavenging are the priority, and with the looting augment you'll be able to carry more. There are also a ton of different weapons to find and craft, from SMGs, assault rifles, snipers, LMGs, energy weapons, in addition to blueprints in the wild so that you can craft your own. There are also attachments and all sorts of gadgets to discover, from a Halo Infinite style grapple gun to deployable zip lines, arc cloaking devices and all sorts of grenade variants. There's a lot to find out there. Everything you do topside seems to earn you XP, and every skill point you acquire can be fed into a rather extensive skill tree across conditioning, mobility and survival. These offer all sorts of perks like better stamina regeneration, making less noise, and so on. The absolute best thing about Arc Raiders is how it makes you feel. Each journey topside is an exhilarating step into the unknown, and you can never be quite sure how things are going to go. Once out in the world, paying attention to the environment around you is critical to survival, and you only have a maximum of 30 minutes to get in and get out. You might plan a quick jaunt to grab some specific supplies, and then quickly make your way to an exit. Calling for extraction will alert nearby players, so you should always prepare to defend yourselves until that extraction arrives. As each location can change in terms of weather and time of day, there can be a remarkably different feel depending upon how that all ends up. And while you may intend to raid a certain location or explore a certain area, gunshots in the distance or the shrill alarm of an arc spotter zoning into something or someone nearby may immediately change your well-laid plans. Seeing that telltale flare shoot up into the sky that signals a raider has been downed will draw instant attention, much like having to deal with any arc that cross your path and engage with you. The constant tension is addictive, to say the least, and it's utterly engrossing. Often you don't want to fire your gun too soon, and we found it best to wait and see what happens on the horizon before picking a specific direction. Should you get into a firefight, you're equipped with a shield that offers you some limited protection. It will spark and fizz out, yelling to cries of "I cracked someone" as your team hunts down your adversaries. When victorious, don't dawdle on looting your opponents. Spend too long in one place and you'll find yourselves on the defensive. It is possible to be downed and revived, and we were witnesses to some incredibly tense firefights in our time thus far, where one of our squad made a heroic recovery and revived us all, or we all fell, losing everything we found thus far. One gripe is being third-personed, as a member of my squad likes to call it. The very nature of a game like Arc Raiders is that due to the camera choice and the style of game, it's easy to remain hidden and then use the camera to peek around corners. It's fairly normal for a game of this style, but when fighting against an enemy that's higher than you on a rooftop or looking at you from around a corner, it can be a bit frustrating. We also experienced some adorable moments. At one point, my teammate let out a cry that a raider was close before 6 or more appeared on the cliff above us, shouting out over the comms that they come in peace and that we should all team up.
Yeah, get on up here, we're chilling.
Whoa, okay, boys.
Yeah, come on up. The party. Come on up.
Welcome.
Hello.
Have you guys been having success in Arc Raiders so far?
The latter part of that match was spent rolling over the map and any Arc machines we came across before it all fell apart in the underground blue tunnel itself. Peace and friendship can be found out here, but it is fragile. Be careful who you trust. We've yet to see the true endgame of Arc Raiders, and I feel it'll be a little while before we do, just due to the sheer number of things to unlock and do across the game. Night raids have yet to be experienced by me, and I'm curious about world events that will draw large numbers of players to one location. More than that though, is that I still have questions around balance. What happens when lots of players have really good weapons and gear, and how viable will it be for weaker, less well-equipped players to take them on and win? Can the lower end weaponry still compete given good planning, strategy and luck? That remains to be seen. The team at Embark have teased another location to discover beyond what's available at launch. They call this place Stella Montis. This seemingly snowy region is located in the mountains up north of the Rust Belt, beyond the Blue Gate. It's heavily implied that the players will have a role in unlocking this new region, helping to expand the game directly. Embark has shared that they plan on continually building and updating the world of Arc Raiders to keep things feeling fresh, while also trying new ideas to push the boundaries. For them, the launch of Arc Raiders is just the beginning, and and they seem pretty excited to see what we'll do out there. Arc Raiders walks a fine balance. It's an extraction shooter seemingly purpose-built for the hardcore player, yet it is surprisingly accessible, whether you're playing with friends or going out there solo. It's thematically dystopian, yet utterly beautiful to look at, full of bright splashes of colour and a cohesive overall design. It can be tense, thrilling, and downright terrifying, but it's also filled with surprisingly sweet and endearing moments with the sort of random social interaction I've not enjoyed since the early days of Sea of Thieves. This is Arc Raiders, and it's just the beginning. It's one of the best multiplayer games of the year, standing toe-to-toe with the giants in the genre. Arc Raiders launches globally at midday CET on October 30th. I'll see you topside. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video review in progress, be sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and if you really love what Xbox Era does, do consider supporting us directly on Patreon. You get cool stuff and we get to keep doing what we do. Just head to patreon.com/Xbox Era. And we'll see you next time.